Karnataka Chief Minister Yediyurappa saying BJP MLAs will sit on a dharna outside Raj Bhavan at 12 noon today.
ಇದರ ಒಂದು ಕ್ಷಣ ಆ ಸ್ಥಾನದಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಂದುವರಿಯುವಂತ ನೈತಿಕ ಹಕ್ಕು ಅದು ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ, ಮಾಧ್ಯಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ಬಂದಿದೆ. ಟುಡೇ by 1 o'clock again we are meeting our cabinet meeting, and 12 o'clock our MLAs and ministers are going to sit dharna in front of Raj Bhavan. If possible, we will try to go to Delhi today only with our all MLAs, MPs, and tomorrow we wanted to meet Prime Minister and also Rashtrapati Mohoday.
Sir, do you feel you've been betrayed by the governor? Governor has been acting in a very rude way to you, sir?
Not only to me, about democracy itself is not at all having any faith. Being a law minister of the central government, he knows everything about that. But is it not his duty to inform immediately? Look, Yediyurappa, the 10 days session is not possible now. Give sufficient time and prove your majority first. Then only you start your session. You could have given that session.
Sir, ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರಪತಿಗಳನ್ನು ಭೇಟಿ ಮಾಡಿ ಆಡಳಿತ ನಡೆಸೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಕೇಳ್ತೀರಾ ಅಥವಾ ರಾಜ್ಯಪಾಲರನ್ನು ಹಿಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಕರೆಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇಡಿಕೆ?
ನೋಡಿ, ನಮ್ಮ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಇದೆ, ಇರುತ್ತೆ 2 ವರ್ಷ. ಈಗಲೂ ಅದಕ್ಕೇನೂ ತೊಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಈ ದೇಶದ ಪ್ರಧಾನಿ ಮನಮೋಹನ್ ಸಿಂಗ್ ಜಿ ಇಂಥ ಕೆಲಸ ಅವ್ರ ಕೈಯಿಂದ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ನನಗೆ
There was Karnataka Chief Minister saying that he will hold a dharna at 12 today. In fact, we are now joined by Mukul Rohatgi, legal and constitutional expert. Thank you, sir, for joining us this morning. First of all, your views on what's really happening in Bangalore as we speak.
See, to me it's very, very clear. The only way to test the majority of a government is on the floor of the House. This has been repeatedly laid down by the Supreme Court in all judgments. Now, whether the majority is there or not, you simply have a floor test and you test the popularity of the Chief Minister by such a test. It's actually a game of numbers. Democracy means the will of majority. The majority will be seen only on the floor of the House. It cannot be conjured, it cannot be, in some kind of imagination. And it seems to me that if the recent judgment of the Supreme Court delivered on Friday relating to disqualified MLAs is the instigator of such a judgment, of such a action by the governor, the judgment only says that the disqualification of these 11 persons effected by the Speaker and upheld by the High Court is wrong, which actually means that they remain a part of the BJP. Whether they remain a part, whether they don't remain a part, whether the Chief Minister has lost his popularity, all can be seen in a transparent manner if the assembly session is called. Unfortunately, the governor seems to have other ideas in his mind. It seems to be a case where the governor has not forgotten that he was an active minister of the Congress party at the center and seems to be doing ominously the bidding of the Congress government, which wants to throw out a popularly elected government. According to me, the report is entirely illegal, arbitrary and smacks of malafide and bias. And I hope the center does not give in to the temptation of having presidential rule. This is in short the situation.
Mr. Rohatgi, as far as the governor's argument in the case is concerned, he's just not talking about the trust vote. He's made a few arguments about illegal mining. So there are various issues as far as the governor is concerned, and you did mention that the matter would simply rest in the assembly. What is your observation on what the governor and his role in this entire episode has been?
See, the governor is not an opposite party. He is not the opposition. He is not to levy charges or decide on charges of illegal mining, etc. If there is illegal mining by anybody, including an MLA, the law must take its own course. The law will decide what is to be done by an illegal miner. There is no law which says that if somebody is convicted of illegal mining, or let us say not paying his income tax, it will lead to disqualification on the House. the procedure is entirely different. As far as the House is concerned, the majority must be tested on the floor and no other consideration can come. It seems to me that the governor is, taking a partisan kind of an attitude in coming out with arguments as to why he has recommended presidential route, etc. Now it is well settled after Bhuta Singh's case and other cases that if the governor's report is bereft of any legal material, then it can certainly be challenged in a court, and I am sure if the central government acts on such basis of such a tainted report, the matter will be taken to the highest court and will be laid bare under the challenge.
As far as the war is concerned, it's reached the capital and the BJP camp is clearly furious at the moment. We've heard a few reactions that came in. They're clearly not happy.
That's right, Niranjan. In fact, just moments back, we came to know that the NDA is going to convene a meeting at LK Advani's residence at 11 a.m. today. So clearly an indication that the senior leadership is going to go into a huddle, do a lot of brainstorming as to, what the future strategy is going to be. Of course, we did see yesterday through the day, major developments happen. First, earlier in the day, we saw the BJP really parade its 11 MLAs in front of the media and send a letter, signed by all of them to the governor, pledging unconditional support, in a sense saying that they are very safe as far as their strength in assembly is concerned. But later in the day, when the governor really, brought about that a completely unexpected move in which he said that he has sent a report to the centre in which many speculate, although the contents are not public, but many are speculating that he has called for a president's rule. So something that the BJP was really not prepared for. But today, the entire day is going to go
I'll just have to, interrupt you there. We believe that reaction coming in from Bangalore.
A secret report to the union government recommending for dismissal of Yediyurappa government and keep the assembly under suspended animation. He has quoted the strictures passed by the Supreme Court. That is what His Excellency the Governor has understood. As a lawyer, I have read and reread the judgment of the Supreme Court. There is absolutely no mention about passing any strictures against either the Honorable Speaker or the Honorable Chief Minister. This is only a make-believe story that is being created by His Excellency the Governor of Karnataka. I would like to remind the people of the country that in the case of appointment of the CVC, the Supreme Court has struck down the appointment of CVC and Supreme Court has passed direct strictures on Honorable Prime Minister and Honorable Union Home Minister. They should have stepped down. They should have tendered their resignation. And in the case of CWG also, Commonwealth Games, repeatedly this union government has been holding the view that there has been no corruption. But after the Supreme Court came down heavily on they started taking action in the CWG matter. In the matter of 2G spectrum also, till the last minute, the union government, including the Prime Minister, have been defending Mr. Raja. When the Supreme Court came down heavily on the union government, then only action was initiated against Raja. In all these circumstances, the union government itself should have tendered resignation. I don't understand why His Excellency the Governor considers all this as severest strictures passed by the Honorable Supreme Court against the Prime Minister, against the union government. Whereas when there is no stricture passed by the Honorable Supreme Court, mere setting aside the orders passed by the Honorable Speaker of the Legislative Assembly would not amount to passing strictures. I would appeal to His Excellency to reconsider his view. If he still persists with this, we will fight against it through the court of law. We will also fight by creating public opinion. We will also set up a very severe political fight against this. My demand is that such a person, Mr. Hansraj Bharadwaj, who has tried to create instability in the state of Karnataka in spite of the government enjoying majority support, time and again he has been trying to create destabilization in the state. Such a person is unfit to hold such a high office. I call upon the Union government and Her Excellency the Rashtrapati ji to immediately recall this person from the post of the Governor of Karnataka. He should immediately tender his resignation and quit Karnataka and go out of Karnataka.
What is the plan of action? How do you plan to take this further? How do you respond to the government?
Right now at 12:30 legislature party meeting is convened. There I expect a one-line resolution by the members expressing full confidence in the leadership of Mr. Yediyurappa, and that message will be passed on to Her Excellency the Rashtrapati ji. Thereafter, around 11 o'clock, the NDA leaders are meeting in Delhi, and we understand that the NDA leaders under the leadership of Honorable Advani ji would be taking a delegation to Her Excellency Rashtrapati ji, making a demand to immediately recall His Excellency the Governor of Karnataka. And maybe later in the evening we may have to go to Delhi. In case that is required, we may parade our strength before Rashtrapati ji. I would make an earnest appeal. His Excellency Governor has always been quoting the case of Bommai, the judgment rendered by the Honorable Supreme Court, wherein it is very clearly stated that the majority support enjoyed by a government should be tested on the floor of the House, not in the corridors of Raj Bhavan. And His Excellency has violated a number of times this judgment dictum of the Supreme Court. I would like to remind him that please read Bommai's judgment. Don't spread this kind of canard saying that the Supreme Court has passed strictures on the Speaker. On the Speaker, no strictures have been passed. No strictures have been passed against the Chief Minister. It's only a creation of this man, Mr. Hansaraj Bharadwaj.